Good morning, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. Today is the day after my marathon. I want to talk briefly about the race and the memorial, my final prep for the race, and then how I'm feeling today. If you have questions about how I prepared, more about my symptoms, please leave a comment down below and I'll do my best to answer them. So let's jump into the race itself. This is the Oklahoma City Marathon. And I want to point out on the medal here, there is the survivor tree. And the survivor tree is the symbol of the memorial and of the finisher medal because it's a sign of resilience for why they have the race at all. So for those of you that don't know, the race is a charity event to raise money for what happened in 1995. We had one of our biggest, if not the biggest, homegrown terrorist attacks in Oklahoma City, the Oklahoma City bombing. Now, Timothy McVeigh, for those of you who aren't aware of the history, he is a war veteran and just unhappy with some of the decisions that we made during wartime, and he wanted to retaliate against the government. And so he did so by utilizing his knowledge, and he made a bomb and attacked a government-owned building. It ended up killing and hurting hundreds of people, what we know as the largest homegrown terror attack to date. So in remembrance and in solidarity of those folks that lost their lives, yesterday we took 168 seconds at the beginning of the race to just show our support for those families and remember those who lost their lives. Ultimately, that is why they have a race. So I thought, I didn't intend to do this race because of that, but it really, as I learned more yesterday 2 days ago at the expo about the history of it all, it really strikes me and means a lot. I like things that have meaning, a deeper meaning to them. So that's the race in a nutshell. If you have some extra dollars, I think it would be a great cause to donate to the memorial. Now, let's talk briefly on my preparations for the last couple weeks. Last weekend did a 4-mile run, and the weekend before I did the same. So for the last 2 weeks, I've been tapering off. I have run 3 times aside from the marathon in the last 2 weeks. I did a 1 mile on that Monday 2 weeks ago. I did a 4-miler long run on Saturday of each of the last 2 weeks. And I've been being really mindful of my hydration, lots of salt. I've been doing something called an adrenal cocktail, which I've actually used to replace my coffee in the morning, and it's been really great. I feel just as energized after a cold shower and an adrenal cocktail as then I would just pounding a black coffee in the morning. So it could be something that you look into if you're looking to replace your coffee. So that's what my preparation has been. Running up to the race, probably 4 days pre, I was doing carb loading, and I don't eat gluten-containing foods, or I try to minimize, soy salt. Soy sauce has a little bit of wheat in it. So I'm not celiac per se, but I do allergic to gluten, but I'm sensitive to it. And I just try and eliminate that as best I can. So I was eating a ton of rice, a ton of quinoa, a ton of sugar, and my body was not at all used to this. I felt bloated, I felt fatigued, I felt so gross over the weekend before the race, but it really did serve me well in the race itself. So that's what I did to prepare. I also trialed my whole race preparation several weekends in a row through my training, all of my routine, mindfulness, meditation, movement, warm up, what I eat, laid out the clothes, did the whole routine several times so I knew and practiced that. And on race day, everything went pretty well, pretty flawlessly. My race, it was really interesting. I'd never done a long race before, and there are just different areas of Oklahoma City that come out in support. I remember a guy smoking a cigar. There was this big area called the banana zone where a bunch of the guys are wearing the banana costume, and they're handing out water and they're handing out bananas, and I don't know, it's just fun to see a whole community come together and support all these runners, the DJs and the music, and it was just a fun experience. I didn't listen to headphones, and that was actually really easy compared to the runs at White Rock that I've been doing on my training, because there are just so many people there supporting you, saying, hey, good job, keep it up, yada yada. A couple times, you know, there would be an isolated family and you'd run right past the dad saying, hey, really good job, son, keep it up. Or even the best part was like when there were small kids and then their dad came up and gave them a hug, and it was really cool to see like all the families coming out to support. My beginning was really slow, and I actually finished about 45 minutes slower than I had anticipated, but I finished. So I'm not at all worried about that or feelings towards that. I'm happy that I did it and completed it. But I took the advice of one of my patients and just went really slow at the beginning, didn't get the emotions caught up in it, and just kind of ran my own race. And towards the tail end, man, I was going after it. I was passing people left and right. The last 8 miles was a lot of fun, you know, kind of kick it into overdrive. It was between 21 and 22 or 22 and 23. There was just two huge hills. And of course you're kind of gassed at the end. The legs are starting to feel heavy. Finally, my quads were just shot after both of those hills. They were feeling sore instantly. That was just rude. But it was a lot of fun altogether. I'm totally glad I did it. Today, I don't feel as bad as I anticipated. I was just really tired yesterday after the run. I had pizza, pasta, all these things, gluten-free of course, and then a steak bowl. I think maybe just because I ate so much that I feel pretty solid. Going downstairs is the hardest thing I've done today. I've taken a walk around, and I mean, I was able to carry the laundry basket downstairs step over step and didn't fall. So I think I'm in a pretty good spot. The legs are definitely sore, quads, hamstrings. If I take a deep breath, like my ribs are sore in the back and base of my neck. And then another thing I noticed is like all of my abdominals, because those are your shock absorbers and they're just pounded on over and over and over again for almost 5 hours for me. So those are really sore too. So if you have any questions about my preparation, I feel like I did a really pretty solid job. I was just trying to finish, not trying to set any records here. I think the next thing I'm gonna do is try and enhance my running in a way that is more barefoot style, trying to space out the toes, focus on more of a forefoot strike rather than a heel strike through. We'll see how it goes. I've got one of my buddies who wants to get a little bit further into running. I'm just gonna try and tweak my cadence and my technique and see how it serves me. I saw some barefoot runners on the course and they looked like they were really hurting. So you have to build your body around this barefoot style. And I'm certainly not trying to do a barefoot marathon, but I think that's what I'm gonna do going forward. In closing, thank you all for listening. That's where I'm gonna go next in my running journey. So look out for more videos on that. We'll see you all in the next one.